What's going on, guys? Dyslexic Doodle Bob here, back with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely incredible day. I know I am. If you are, please smack that like button. I really enjoyed my videos, get lots of likes. It makes me feel good and warm on the inside, like grandma's cookies slowly burning through your lower intestine before you drop a massive sugar bomb in her toilet. That was pretty graphic, but you guys know what's up. It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Another story time for you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Wowzy, woozy, sloopy booby. The other day I was on YouTube, watching a YouTuber that I really like a lot called Swoozy, and he has this video called Cheating in Middle School, and he talks about what cheating on tests was like in middle school. And I was a bit of a test cheating genius, okay? I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but toot toot, I was always really good at cheating on tests. I don't know what it is, maybe it's a natural skill at being sleazy and slimy, but I was always very good at cheating on tests without getting caught. And it made me want to do like my own version of his video where, we talk about cheating on tests in middle school and how exactly I got away with everything, because I don't know, I just think it's fun. Talking about stuff on the internet is what I do for a living, so I'm gonna talk, and if you don't like it, well, too bad. You're already watching now, so you might as well stay to the end. Anyways, as I was saying, cheating in middle school, back when I was in middle school, I didn't have this newfangled technology in my pocket, alright? I think I was like the last generation of kids in middle school that didn't have a cell phone, and for anybody that goes to middle school with a cell phone, trust me when I tell you, you guys have the cheating gold mine, alright? Do you know how much easier cheating on tests got once everybody had a cell phone? It's basically a camera and a communication device all rolled into one. And back when I was in middle school, the only phones we had were like the sidekicks that you could barely text with, alright? Like, honestly, you had a keyboard attached to your phone. That's how ghetto our cellular devices were in middle school. So anybody who's in middle school and claims that they can't cheat on tests with a smartphone, trust me, you're not trying hard enough, because that thing is basically a cheat code for getting an A on every test you ever take. Back when I was in middle school, I might as well have been living in the time of Jesus with nothing but sandals and little tees to, nail yourself to in order to cheat on tests, because honestly, we were basically living in the dark ages. Ever since smartphones came out, cheating on tests has become basically the easiest thing you can do. It's easier than just studying, but back then it took real effort, some real procrastinating effort to not study for a test and cheat instead. And of course, as you guys know, I'm really great at procrastinating. It's one of my many skills. On my resume, the reason I don't have a real job is loves to procrastinate, won't do anything until the day before it's due. However, it'll be done right. And I, of course, had a bunch of friends that were really bad at procrastinating too. Like, none of us would get anything done on time. And what's silly is most of the time we would put more energy into coming up with how to cheat on the test than it would to just be to, like, study for the test. Which in retrospect is really silly, but I think it's the challenge of it, Anyone can study for a test and get a good grade on it, but not many people can get away with cheating on a test, That's what was so fun and exciting to me. Like, oh, you're telling me that the teacher says that they've never, ever had anyone cheat on their test? Yeah, bull crap, okay? Plenty of people have studied and gotten an A, but I guarantee you that I can do it the non-legit way, alright? It also made me laugh whenever teachers would get cocky and be like, no one's ever cheated in my class. No, that just means you're really bad at catching cheaters in your class, because I guarantee you there is always kids cheating in your class. There is like absolutely no way, if you're teaching middle school, that not half your class is cheating on your tests. And one teacher I had like this in middle school, I'm gonna call Mr. Poindexter, and Mr. Poindexter was my this life science, like basically it's biology in middle school. At least that's what it is here in Nevada. Like, life science is biology for kids, like biology for dummies. Those books, the for dummy books, they're never actually for dummies. I got when it was astrophysics for dummies. I started opening it up. They wanted me to learn math. I was like, I thought this was supposed to be the dumb edition of a book. But anyways, Mr. Poindexter was one of these teachers that swore that nobody could ever cheat on his test because he was an eagle who would guarantee to catch you if you tried to cheat, which I took as a personal challenge, almost like a knight who was in a jousting tournament and someone's like, I challenge you for your wife's hand in marriage. And I'm like, listen, honey, it's not a big deal. I don't want you to have to marry this guy, but he did call me out, so I gotta do what I gotta do, Like, sorry, honey. And then I lose and my wife has to go marry Lord Farquaad. But regardless, you guys get the idea. Basically, he was swearing that no one had ever cheated on his test and that there was no way that anyone ever would, because he was an expert, a master, a genius at catching kids who tried to cheat in his class, because life science in 6th grade is no joke. It is not a scam. It is God tier. So of course, I immediately start devising ways to cheat on this test. And I'm not saying you should cheat on tests, like don't get me wrong, I don't advocate for this. But if somebody calls you out and says you can't, you know, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do to prove to people that they're not smarter than you. So I got my two other friends that I had in the class. I'm gonna name them Jared and Grant. And Jared and Grant and I, we're what we call lazy savants, okay? I probably could have passed life science, no problem, but where's the fun in that? There's no good story time to come later. And immediately we start trying to figure things out, okay? And this was actually the first time I used the student-teacher method. Basically, what we had in middle school was this thing where like 8th graders and 7th graders could be a student aide, and they were mainly in charge of grading our tests and grading our papers. The only problem is 7th graders are pretty easy to corrupt if you have any dirt or any information on them whatsoever. And I used this later on in high school to cheat on tests all the time. I would just become really good friends with the student aide, and they would grade my tests way better than everybody else's. Like, I didn't even have to get the answers right, but they'd say I did. Because if you're a teacher, you're not going to double check to make sure your student aide did less work. The reason you're giving them work in the first place is so you don't have to do it. But basically, there was this 7th grade girl who I'm going to name Ashley, all right? And she had this huge crush on my neighbor at the time, and his name was Michael. And I knew that she had a huge crush on him because me and Michael were boys, and he would always talk about how this girl, Ashley, was always trying her best to, you know, flirt with him and be his girlfriend. And he was just not having it, all right? Michael ended up being gay, but at the time, he was not out of the closet. So I just thought he just didn't like Ashley, you know? So I went to Ashley one day, and I basically told her I could get Michael to date her, but the only thing I would need was the answer key for every test for the rest of the year from Mr. Poindexter. And Ashley was one of these girls that, like, followed the rules. What a buzzkill. She's like, nah, I can't give you the answer key because that's cheating. And I was like, well, look, Michael's not going to date you. You need me, all right? You're going to need my help. So please give me the answer key. I don't know why I went Southern there for a second, all right? I feel like Woody from Toy Story. But basically, after pestering and badgering, Ashley agrees to get me it, but she doesn't want to get in trouble. So she's like, I can't give you the original copy of the answer key. And I'm like, that's fine. But now I have Ashley's agreement that if I get her a date with Michael, we can work it out. So now I go to Michael and I'm basically like, look, I need you to do me this solid. Can you just date Ashley for a week? Once you date her, you can make her break up with you. I don't care. I just need you to date her long enough for her to give me the answers to the first few tests that we have in this class, so that way I don't have to do it. And Michael's like, no, dude, what's in it for me? Like, I don't even take this class. I don't even understand why I would be helping you. And I'm like, look, Michael, you know how your parents make you mow the lawn every week? And he said, yes. I'm like, I will mow it for a month if you date Ashley for a month. And he's like, okay, I don't have to mow the lawn? And I'm like, yes. And so he agrees. So basically, I have to mow a lawn for a month, and I'm going to not have to do anything in my life science class forever? I think yes. So regardless, Ashley and Michael start dating, and she's like, sweet, you got the rules, you know the drill ski and the bill ski. I'm going to start giving you guys the answer keys so that way you don't have to take the tests. Like I said, I had Jared and Grant in my class with me, and Ashley was the student aide 2 hours previously. Me, Jared, and Grant didn't sit next to each other, so this is where the problem came in. I couldn't just get this answer key and we could put it in the middle of the table and share it. We all had to have a copy, but because Ashley was 2 hours earlier, she was able to get the answer key 2 hours earlier. And I know what you're thinking, nice, easy, simple, closed and shut case. It's so simple, Ryan. All you really have to do is, write it down and then give it to everyone. But if you remember earlier, Ashley said that she specifically did not want this to be able to get traced back to her, so she couldn't give me the original copy. So what Ashley ended up doing is taking a picture of it with these old ass flip phones that we had in middle school. Like I said, we didn't have smartphones. The richest kids in the school had like the iPhone 1, all right? None of us were bullying with a high megapixel camera that could take a good picture of a piece of paper you could actually read. Not to mention, I had a flip phone. So whatever, the first week comes and goes, and Ashley actually sends me the blurriest picture I've ever seen, dude. It looks like her grandma was having a seizure when she takes a picture of this test. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be reading at this point, but I understand that this is not gonna work. I get the answers I can, we go to lunch, I write it down, everybody takes their answers, we get 5-6 questions on a 20 question test from them answer sheets, and I'm like, damn, we need a better method, all right? Clearly this isn't working. We got the answers, we got a good method, we're doing things right, but it's not enough. So I go to Ashley and I'm like, listen here, ho, okay? I need something better than a blurry picture. I need you to get me a copy. And she's like, no, I can't. So here's what I ask her. Can you do your homework on a clear sheet of notebook paper above the answer key and trace it for me and then give it to another one of my friends who was an office aide? Because not only do we have teacher's aides, we had office aides that worked in the dean's office. And she goes, yeah, but why would I want to do that? I'm like, perfect, don't worry about it, just do it. So next Friday comes and Ashley copies this answer key onto this notebook paper and gives it to my friend who I had in the dean's aide office. And I'm gonna name her Katie. And Katie basically worked in the dean's office and had access to the copying machines. And I think you're picking up where I'm going down. So she goes in, she makes a copy because she also had Mr. Poindexter and she needed the answers as well. So I got the trade going. She would make 4 copies, give one for me, herself, Jared, and Grant. So now we have 4 copies of the answer key. And like clockwork, every single week, this is the system. Ashley goes in, grades some tests, does her homework on top of the answer key. The answer key gets passed on to Katie. Katie makes the copy. She comes to lunch. She hands them to Jared, me, and Grant. And then we all go take the test. We all get a good grade. We all miss a couple questions because you don't want to make anybody too suspicious. And that's the system for a while, you know? It's going great, everything's fantastic for about a month. So around 8 tests of what I've gotten 100% on because my testing and my cheating method has worked perfectly. And like ninjas, you know, it got to the point where we were doing this thing where Ashley would do like a backhand lateral triple toss to you know, Katie in the hallway. She would go make the copy, do a secret spy drop. Oh, I'm gonna leave it in mailbox 5. And we would go to mailbox 5 and pick it up. It honestly felt like we were Soviet spies during the Cold War, all right? Anyways, a month goes by and I stopped mowing Michael's lawn, and Michael, now not having the benefit of you know, me doing his chores, breaks up with Ashley, and this makes Ashley very, 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 very distraught. And you know, she's heartbroken and she doesn't want to help us anymore because it just reminds her of her former lover that has scorned her. And I'm like, listen, Ashley, we got a good system here. And she's like, it was wrong to help you cheat anyways, I was blinded by love. And I'm like, no, listen, Ashley, shut up, I need you to help me cheat on these tests. And she's like, I can't do it, it's wrong, it's morally wrong. And I'm like, okay, well, do you think like anyone else is cute? And she says, Grant. And I'm like, Grant, you have to date her. And he's like, I don't want to date her. And I'm like, Grant, our grades in this class depend on it. You need to do it. So Grant takes one for a team and starts dating Ashley, and he dates her until the end of the semester, which is when our aides would get switched up anyways. He breaks up with her, but for the rest of the semester, we got the answers to every test, no questions asked with our little system. And I know what you're thinking. Is it messed up that he dated this girl just for answers to the test? And the answer is absolutely. It is messed up and it's wrong, but you know what? We got A's and that's what matters. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. I know the story was a lot more chill. It wasn't like hype or exciting. There's no screaming, there's no punching kids in the face, but you know, I just wanted to tell a little bit of a chill story. It's the first of a month. I can't start with something too hype because then the bar gets set way too high. But yeah, if you enjoyed, I would appreciate you pressing the like button, letting me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the video. I love you guys all a bunch. Don't get anyone pregnant, and if you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully I'll see you guys soon with another video. I'm out. Good night, my sweet princesses.